What do I do with it after?
So face it towards me.
Okay, okay.
Just like story of meL interview. Take.
Oh, do I have to say it too? So do I have to say the whole thing?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, story of meL interview, take 1.
Oh my goodness, meL gets it done. A 4K on the round, absolutely huge.
Time through the back line, and meL is going to absolutely tear this apart.
Hi, I'm meL. I'm the in-game leader for Cloud9 White, and thank you to AT&T for letting me share my story.
One's probably lurking. Nah, please no, I have a commercial.
I was personally a really avid console gamer, like PlayStations only. I was very into like PlayStation 2. I had so many games on PlayStation, but when I was like 9 or 10, I started playing the PC a lot more. I just tried Half-Life because it was like a single-player game, and my dad didn't want me on any multiplayer games yet. So it was just like the most popular single-player game at the time. So my dad, he had Counter-Strike 1.6. I just never ended up playing it. And then he downloaded Source on the computer, and I didn't even really notice until one day I just clicked on it and the internet was connected, so I just started playing random online games. The one server I played the most was like Hell's Gamers Office DM, just 24/7 Office DM with like 30, 40 people in it, and I would just run around and play Office DM. I think my phase with actual competitive gaming, it had to have started with CSGO when there was like a matchmaking system, and that's when I realized you can actually like compete against other people. I placed like Gold 1, or I placed Gold Nova, I guess is the equivalent, and I just started ranking up to like MGE, and I thought this was super fun. So in Counter-Strike, I actually wasn't too much of a player. I actually was an observer and like a director for broadcast at some points, because I kind of just gave up the dream after like I turned 18. I don't know what happened in my brain, but I was observing so much of the game that when you are pretty much paid to watch the game, it's like watching a demo. Like I'm trying to capture like the storytelling, I'm trying to show like the defaults or like why people are doing certain things. And so I started to pug with like a different mentality after observing for so long. And I actually, I was moving out the other day and I found this journal, like almost full journal, like a handwritten journal. And I would just watch VODs from like ESCA, like semi-pro EU teams, like tier 3 EU teams playing each other, and I would just write pages of notes just for fun, just analyzing the game, and I was observing at the time, and I think that really fueled, like, I feel like I could take away from this and like lead a team at some point. Oh, the #1 observer I look up to is Sapphire. Like, if anything, she set the foundation for everything I managed to do. She was a player, she played in so many co-ed tournaments, she was on Dignitas, and now she's high up in Dignitas, and she was an observer, a decorated observer, observed so many majors. Like, we kind of had like the opposite journey, but same place kind of. She went from player to observer, I went from observer to player, but she's my role model 100%. So I've spectated a couple CS tournaments. ESL New York is one of them. That's where I actually met Lexi for the first time, because we've been best friends for years. We played CS for a long time. Before that, I went to like ESL Dallas, and it was I think it was ESL Pro League, and I saw my favorite team at the time was SK, and so I watched SK Gaming play, and then I saw Team Liquid walk in. It was just such a fun experience of like going to these tournaments. Hearing the crowds at big events is like one of the biggest reasons why I want to play like as a pro player and make it to tier 1 teams and make it to tier 1 tournaments. Just like the energy in there is like explosive. Like you can feel like the roar of the crowd, and it's like it makes everything worth it. Like the online qualifiers, like all the work that you put in, just hearing the rumbling underneath you is an insane feeling. I love it. I hope to go back to watching tournaments again soon and playing in them.
Super duper hype is hey! Make sure you don't forget it. Don't forget to mention. That was nice. Make sure you don't forget it.
Like the first time I played VALORANT, I instantly knew I had to like make a team. Like either any team, like literally just play with some friends, because games like this, like CS and like Tech FPS, are best enjoyed when you have people that can communicate with you, especially early on in the game, because it's like the game is so new and there's so many cool things you can do. So I was instantly looking to join a team. I was in my head thinking like, how can I make myself like the most valuable player that I can be? Like to any team, to anyone, I want to be the most valuable that I can ever possibly be. And because I was already watching so many games from being paid to observe and then VOD reviewing on my free time like for fun, it was super natural to go into the in-game leader role from like a strategy point of view. The first time we ever got reached out to by any Cloud9 staff was actually Galen. She DM'd Annie, and when Annie got the DM, I remember like all of us were in like a Discord together, and she's like, guys, like she just puts a screenshot, and we're all just like, Cloud9? Like Cloud9 is messaging you right now? We were kind of freaking out a little bit, and after FTW Showdown, we knew like it was like done deal, like it was gonna happen pretty much. Most every org reached out to us, but we felt like Cloud9 valued us the most, and our visions aligned the most. They knew what we wanted, and we knew that they aligned with our goals, and we were both set on the fact that Cloud9, they understand us. That was like the main difference that I feel like other orgs didn't really hit on. After signing, I feel like it really elevated the team a lot by that point, because we have players on our team that were like in school, Kat was working, and being able to get signed and get like a full-time salary, I think that's like the biggest difference that could have changed our team, 100%. Like Kat was able to go full-time, she was able to justify like leaving her current job and like also going out of her school to be able to commit full-time. And then we were actually able to scrim longer hours, as I as well didn't have to do any freelance gigs and stuff like that anymore. And Annie, I know that she had to transition from streaming to doing both. So if anything, she probably got more work as a result. But regardless, it allowed us to play like more scrims, practice way more. And that's a huge difference maker in supporting our team. So Cloud9 knew that our common goal there was we were not a female-only team. Our goal from the start has never ever been to be the best female team and just like at that we're chilling, like we're only playing female tournaments. Our whole goal, and it still is today, is we want to make esports history. We want to get into like the tier 1 scene and be recognized as a really good team like internationally as well. No matter like whatever process that takes, however long it takes, that's something that we are deeply committed to as players, as a team. Like that is the vision that we have all gotten together and grown with for the past like year and a half. So knowing that Cloud9 has our back on that, and even there was a point where we were considering, you know, maybe we shouldn't play in this Game Changers because of how close it was to like the Riot Open tournament, they've actually supported us through that as well. So knowing that they had our back completely it's just been amazing. I would never take it for granted. If there's any like girls watching this and you guys are interested in going pro, or not even going pro, just playing the game, competing at like a higher level, just avoiding some toxicity and ranked and stuff like that, just know that there are so many girls that play Valorant that you can play with. I have not seen anything like it in all the games that I've played, definitely not in CS. There's not been more women playing this game than any other game that I've seen, any other tech FPS. Just know that there's a huge community for you there in Valorant, there's a huge community there for you in open tournaments and female-only tournaments. So if you want to, just seek them out, they're there. Trust me, just seek out and get on a team or sub with the team or even just duo in ranked or something, and that'll get you pretty far. Seeing the whole team in Philly for the first time was unreal. I met Jazzy over the summer, and I've obviously met Lexi several times already, but having the whole team as Five's energy in person, it was awesome. Honestly, everything is kind of the same in person as it is online, funnily enough, but just the experience of having everyone together there and like being able to see like the nonverbal body language and just being able to like even just hug everybody, it just felt great. Obviously Dream and Moon as well, like they were super supportive and super awesome. It was just such an amazing experience. Finally get to hang out with pretty much my friends. Like they're not just my teammates, like these guys are like, we have a sisterhood. You know, we've been through a lot together over the past year, and pretty much just seeing kind of like my foster sisters, it was awesome. So pretty much since I graduated high school, my mom has been really supportive from even when I started observing. She definitely knew about esports and she was into it, but as a player, she has given me like unrivaled support. I appreciate her so much. She is such like she's giving me like tech mom vibes. Like she's on Discord, she's in my Discord. I didn't even invite her to my Discord, first of all. Like she just figured out how to use it. And she followed me on Twitter, she followed me on Instagram, on TikTok. She's in my Discord like when people are wondering like what's the score, like she's there like responding to them. Like she knows what score that our games that aren't streamed on. She's just super supportive. And in high school, she was very much like, you gotta focus on your grades, no boyfriend, stuff like that. But the moment I pretty much graduated high school and then I moved to Canada for like esports, she's been super supportive. Compared to last year, I feel like a completely different like person, a completely different player. So much has changed for me. I've learned so much in terms of in-game, obviously like strategy-wise. I've learned so much on how to like communicate with people, which is like honestly the most important part of IGLing is actually really just how you communicate with your team. It's less so about the strategy at the end of the day and just like building a team culture and communicating things properly. And that has been like the biggest change for me this year, is really coming into my own as an in-game leader. Absolutely, shout out to my dad, my sisters, my mom. They have all been so supportive of me. I was honestly pretty scared at first when I moved to Canada and I started pursuing esports because I was planning to study aerospace engineering. And this was definitely a turn from that, going to university to going to like a college for networking. It was such a jump and they've been supportive throughout, and I don't think I would be here without their support. Shout out to Cloud9 for believing in us and supporting us to this day. I can't imagine being here without all the org support that we've gotten, and shout out to all the fans that make this all possible.